Hello and welcome to the Christian Life Coach Podcast. I am Shanna Pyzer, your Christian life coach. Today, in episode 19, we are going to talk about desire. Maybe not in the way that you have thought about desire in the past, but in a way that I think is super helpful to consider. So, what I'm really going to be talking about is how to create desire on purpose for the things that you say that you want, even when we are craving and having desire for lesser things in the moment that are not leading us to the things that we want. We typically we think that we desire things automatically. If you've ever wondered why it's so easy to desire chips and Netflix and cake and to desire not working out or not eating what you have planned, this episode is for you. And I'm going to talk about how to generate desire that lines up with what you're wanting more of in your life, what you're wanting to accomplish, what you're wanting to create in your life. So let's jump into creating desire on purpose. So for me, when I'm working towards a goal and I am looking for an emotion to generate that will drive the actions that get me closer and closer and help me accomplish my goal, my typical emotion has been that I have worked on generating has been determination. And it's a good one. I believe in determination. It is so helpful. And I was listening to something recently and it just kind of started getting me thinking about determination versus desire and how generating desire might feel a little bit better. So determination feels kind of strong, it feels gritty. It's it kind of pushes you to do the thing, to work harder, and it's like we're going to do this no matter what, and it gets things done. And it can also feel a little bit it can just feel a little bit harder, like you're having to drag yourself a little bit. But it's good. It's not that it's bad. It might not always be sustainable. It might take a little more effort to generate. Um, and then I want to mention too, motivation is another emotion that we can generate to get us to do things. But typically motivation is a reaction to something else. It could be we heard a great sermon, and so we're really motivated to take specific action, or we saw this before and after photo and we're like, oh my goodness, I want to get to that. Or we see a picture of ourselves and we're like, that is motivation to get started. Or you went to the doctor and had a checkup and things aren't as good as you would like them to be. And so you're motivated to take action towards getting healthier for a couple days. And that motivation fades. And so then the action fades. And so what I want to talk about today is generating desire. And desire, it pulls you, it draws you to doing the thing rather than pushing you to doing the thing. Desire is saying, I want this, I love this, I enjoy this, I cannot wait to do this. It doesn't feel like it's a forceful thing. It feels like a drawing. And desire is an emotion, so we can create it. And I also want to say, like, the things that we desire in the moment, cookies, cake, Netflix, shopping, um, any number of things, can be what we really desire is that dopamine hit. And when we are getting that dopamine hit from refined sugar, refined flour, um, hitting the add to cart button and the purchase button, knowing that something is going to show up at our door. That dopamine hit is so elevated that it's very powerful. And dopamine isn't like, it's not the neurotransmitter of satisfaction. It's the neurotransmitter of desire, of wanting more. Ooh, that feels good. I like that. I want more of that. And I can definitely see that at play in my life when I'm eating cookies or cake. I want more. I want more. And so a little bit of this, the desire that we want to generate is a desire for true dopamine, for natural dopamine, to lower our expectation of the level of the dopamine hit, and so that we want more and more of the thing that is leading us in the direction we want to go, rather than those elevated manufactured dopamine hits from the refined sugar and flour, for example. We don't want to depend on those higher levels, because then it takes more and more to sustain it. We want to enjoy natural dopamine hits. It's like retraining ourselves from getting dopamine and pleasure from eating an apple, that natural sugar, that God-made sugar, instead of relying on the dopamine hit that you get from eating a piece of cake from that refined sugar, the oh my goodness, what's that called? Concentrated dopamine that you get from eating sugar. So we want to work on desiring true, pure, natural sources of dopamine. And so desire is an emotion, so we can create it, we can generate it. Emotion is created by the way that we're thinking. So it's not that we just automatically desire things. There is a thought generally behind it. We don't always notice it though. So we desire things. I desired being a mom because of what I believed that would mean, because of what I believed that would feel like. I desire cake because of how it feels in that moment of putting it in my mouth. And I think about how amazing that is. And let me tell you, I can build desire for cake like nobody's business. We can also create desire for drinking water, for getting up early in the morning, for not eating sugar, not because that's exciting and thrilling and all the dopamine hit, but because they help us to focus on the life that we want to live. It helps us to become the person that we want to be. So asking yourself on a daily basis, why do I want this? Why does this matter? And focusing on why the thing matters is going to help generate desire for that thing. So having your list of whys, reminding yourself of why I want this, is helpful in generating desire to do that thing. So our default desire, like the automatic desire for, is usually for some kind of immediate comfort. We have that motivational triad at work: seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, and conserving energy. And that's why we feel desire to sit and scroll, to, instead of journaling and being mindful of what is happening in our brain, instead of being consistent in our workouts, instead of eating the meal that we planned, we desire cookies because that's easier, it's quicker, and it's an elevated amount of pleasure in the moment. And it's not a character flaw. It's your brain just doing what it's meant to do. Your brain is working. And also, because we don't have to live in the motivational triad all the time, and it is a very helpful mechanism. And also we have the prefrontal cortex. We have that higher level thinking brain that can override the motivational triad and thus generate this emotion of desire to do the things that are going to lead us in the direction that we want to go. So when you're feeling drawn to that lesser thing, that eating, that Netflixing, rather than doing the thing that you had planned to do, that you had set your intention to do, you notice it and just notice that it's a pattern that your brain has created. It's not anything that's going wrong. It's that this has been what you've practiced. This is the pattern that we have been allowing to play out. And now we just want to focus back on why do I want to do this other thing? Why does this other thing matter? Why do I desire to do the thing that is not eating the cookie or not sitting on the couch watching Netflix? Not that you can't have cookies and watch Netflix. I'm not saying that. But when it's getting in the way of what you want, what you really want, that's when it's a problem. So, because desire is a feeling and feelings come from thoughts, and our thoughts create our results, if the results that we're getting right now are not the results that we want, we don't necessarily want to just start by changing our behavior. You can start there, but the best place to start is at the beginning with the way that you're thinking. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So start with your thoughts. So if you're thinking things like, it doesn't matter if I eat this, it's just a little bit, you want to remember this actually does matter. It does make a difference. Another one is, who cares? I care. I do care. And so catching yourself when you're thinking thoughts that will pull you away from the desire of the things that you truly want and lead you to give into those things that you desire in the moment. And I like to remind myself of who I am. I am becoming the woman who loves taking care of herself. I am a woman who takes excellent care of herself. And that reminds me that I desire doing the things that are taking care of me, taking care of my body, taking care of these resources that God gave me, these finite, limited resources, my body, my brain cells, all of those, my energy. I want to take care of those things so that I can operate at my highest level. So desire is an emotion that we can create with the way that we're thinking. And we already have desires, and they're kind of automatic. There is thinking behind them, but they're also in that automatic brain. They're the things that we've practiced. It's 5 o'clock. I want a glass of wine. Like, it's just, I desire that at 5 o'clock because that's what I've always done, or whatever it is. And it's just recognizing that we have desires already. Are we desiring the things that are going to get us where we want to go? We want the cookie. What you actually want is the dopamine hit that you get when you, number one, decide that you're going to get the cookie. That's a dopamine hit. And then when that sugar hits your tongue, it's another dopamine hit. And so we have desire. Sometimes we're desiring things that do not get us where we want to go. And so we want to rewire our thinking so that we rewire our desire. And instead of, I want that cookie, reminding myself what I really want is to be able to run around and play with my grandson. I want to be able to get up and down off the ground. I want to be able to swing with him. And yeah, if I eat one cookie, that's not going to have an impact. But the desire for more and more cookies comes when I give into that one cookie. What I really want to desire is energy and strength and vitality. So how much better is it for me to not want that cookie and desire the alternative, desire going for a walk, desire having a healthy snack instead, having, something that's not full of added sugar and unhealthy ingredients. So focusing on not what I want right now, not what I want in the moment, but what do I want most? What do I want long term? And that is going to help you and refocus you in creating desire for that thing that you want most. And what are the little steps that are going to, that you want to generate desire for right now, so that what you want most is available to you. So, and we want to train our desire daily. This is an ongoing, we have to, it's a practice. We have practiced training ourselves to desire sugar, to desire cookies, to desire lounging around watching Netflix instead of doing our workout. And we can retrain and we can practice desire for the things that we really want. Desire to do the things that it's going to take to become the person who, and whatever that is, the person who runs 5Ks, the person who jumps on trampolines with their grandkids, the person who lives in a clutter-free home, the person who has a fully funded retirement, whatever that is, what are the things that you're wanting to generate desire for on a daily basis? And you want to practice thinking about those things in a way that generates desire. And journaling is an excellent way to do this. What are the things that I really want? Why do I really want these things? And then reminding yourself when those lesser things present, reminding yourself, oh, that's right. That's not what I want. I want that right now, but that's not what I really want. What I really want is this other thing. And so this is what I really do desire instead. This is what I desire to do instead. And our brain learns from repetition and reward. So repeating, why do I want this? Why do I want this? And reminding yourself of why is going to retrain your brain and create desire for that thing. And celebrating as you go, every time that you choose to desire that thing that is leading you in the direction that you want to go rather than the thing that isn't, celebrate that. Vocally congratulate yourself, jump up and down, dance, celebrate each win. Every time you don't give in to that lesser desire, because what you desire most is so important to you. So when we're motivated, we think, I should start walking. I need to lose weight. When we're determined, we say, no excuses. I'm doing it whether I feel like it or not. It's as good as done. And desire says, I want to move my body because I love feeling strong. I love how it makes me feel mentally. I am becoming a woman that moves my body every day. Can you feel the difference between the three, between the motivated, determined, and desire? And so I just want to encourage you to do this work. What is it that you really want to create in your life? Weight loss, fitness, financial goals, decluttering your house, developing relationships, whatever that is, getting good at pickleball. Like it could be anything. What is it that you really want? And ask yourself, how can I create the desire for the things that it's going to take for me to get that thing? So losing weight, how can I create desire for eating foods that nourish my body? How can I create desire for eating just enough to fuel my body? And if you're like me and you do intermittent fasting, how can I create desire to fast for periods of time? because that's not something that's just going to come naturally. I have to create desire to intermittent fast. And I'll tell you right now, I am about 38 hours into a fast, and I generated desire to fast, and it feels good to me. So where have you been relying on motivation? Have you been relying on determination, which is not a bad thing? I actually really do love determination, but how can you um, practice desiring those things that are going to get you where you want to go over desiring the lesser things that are drawing you away from that? So from now on, when you think, I just don't want to do that, ask yourself, why do I want to do that? Why does that thing matter? Why does it matter that I get out and go for that walk? You get to create desire on purpose to become the woman that you really want to be, to have the life that you really want to live. That kind of desire will change your life in a good way. I would love to hear from you. If you have thoughts on this episode, reach out at Coach Shanna P on Instagram, email me. I would love it if you would rate and review this podcast, whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, review, comment, and it would be so meaningful to me and so helpful to me if you would share this out to friends or on your social media and tag me. I would love to um, to recruit your help to get this out to more and more listeners. Thank you so much for joining me. And remember that life coaching is life changing, one renewed thought at a time.